right. How's that for a nice short intro? What's up, everybody?
It was
I think you
short.
know my I think you know my guest today, K4K Crypto. You might have heard of him. 8,000 subs in what, like 5 months? Pretty pretty good. Pretty good progress. I think people like what you have to say. For anybody that doesn't know you, you want to introduce yourself?
Sure. I go by K4K Crypto. You can call me Colton, because it starts with a K, you know. It stands for K for
Right.
Colton. Everyone thought it was relating to like resolution and or something like that.
Well, I would have
But
thought C for Colton, but hey, I don't
yeah,
know.
well, that's what I tell people. I'm like, it's Colton with a K.
Uh,
That because then it's easier to remember for them too. But yeah, I make videos about PulseX and PulseChain and HEX, and I've been in HEX since the day one. You know, the terrible rate day.
yep.
But hey, and I made videos back then too in December 2019.
Oh, did you? What happened to him?
Yeah,
I
I
don't
still
know if
have
I
them.
saw
They're
that.
just unlisted because I may have had some doxy stuff in it. So I
Uh,
have the proof because I have the videos still, but I'm not gonna like just have it out there for any bad players to maybe find stuff. There's like a way to get
yeah.
to something if you are smart about it, but it wasn't like terrible.
Well,
Like here's my wallet address. It was
yeah.
something, but yeah,
Yeah. I
that
mean,
Hex community all the way.
that's where you got to get that blur function to blur over all your old stakes or whatever.
Yeah, I was doing it all from like a laptop back then. I didn't have my face in it. It was just me like talking as like 3 best things about Hex and how to
Yeah,
get into
yeah,
the adoption amplifier and how to
yeah.
uh what is it? Whenever you could free claim and stuff like that. So I was like I did like 4 or 5 videos. I got like shadow banned by YouTube or something back then.
Really?
And so I got like
Well, that
depressed because I didn't feel like making more videos because no one was it was the first video got only 200 views, which isn't bad for a first video
well,
ever.
yeah, that's
And
wow.
then the next video, 7. Didn't get any
Hmm.
more ever again. And I was like, what?
Well, that
And
was
the
back in
next
the day
one
where there
to
was a lot of like targeted, like people were probably reporting us and shit like that.
yeah,
So
true. Yeah.
could have been that.
Yeah, we might have got reported because I was also spamming all of my videos to 4chan as well to like get people to go to the stuff. So I don't know if the
Oh yeah,
4chaners go and attacked and they were like, let's spam this, report this guy. But
I think that's definitely something 4chaners would do. You know?
probably.
But I managed to fly under the radar. Haven't really gotten a strike or anything yet.
Mhm.
I try to keep my language a little, PG, and I
Yeah,
think it's
me
just
too.
luck as well, because there was a lot of hate in those days, man.
Yeah, I also do try to keep it PG as well because you get more people who can watch that stuff. It's not like you have to listen to people who swear. But some
Yeah,
people can't
uh,
listen to people who do swear.
yeah. It's
So
like,
it's just like, well, I don't have to. I'll use other words most of the time.
yeah, yeah, wrecked plebs.
You were not
Like,
using your manners at the at the 731 gathering speech.
no, I was not. I was
Dude,
not.
that was awesome though. You really
Oh,
fired it
thanks,
up
man.
there.
Yeah, definitely had a few beforehand to, cool down the nerves a little bit because I
Yeah.
found out I was doing it. Like, Kinetics tells me like an hour beforehand, hey, by the way, you're doing a speech. I'm like, oh, thanks, bro.
You're doing a
he's,
speech hour
he's
before.
in the
Yeah.
he's in the chat. What's up, Kinetics? We got a whole bunch of people here. We got Rusty VR. We got Danish,
I
Pulse,
see
Hex
Rusty all the
Game,
time.
Hex McKenzie. Hello.
Bufo the
Uh,
Beat, or on the Beat. I've seen him a lot.
oh yeah, Michael B, Unhexable. The whole crew, man. Igloo Bamboo.
I
Everyone's
said
up.
his name wrong so many times before I finally read it one day, and I was like, Igloo Bamboo. That's what you
Yep.
say. Oh,
There
okay.
you
And I was
go.
like, that's kind of fun to say. Igloo Bamboo.
Right, right. Rhymes. Yeah, man. We got Hexakin Papa. Oh yeah, the Steak by the God Whale. We were just talking about that before we started.
Oh yeah, we might as well bring it up. Go ahead.
Dude staked 1 billion hex. It's awesome. What else can you say?
$200 million
Legend.
today. What will that be
Yeah.
in 15 years? Who knows?
Dude, I mean, once hex is a dollar, that's $1 billion. Like,
Yeah.
that's insane.
Yeah,
Like,
it's true. That's a lot. That's dedication. Did you see that the God
yeah,
Whale said that he liked my videos in a tweet? He
no
responded to
way.
a tweet I had. Oh yeah. I
Wow.
screenshotted that. I did.
Wow.
He
That's one
came
of the
in.
highest compliments.
Yeah, I was not expecting it. I mean, I did at him whenever I made the tweet because I had 7777 subscribers, and I knew that's like his favorite number, and he sent that many hex to Funding Gym to prove he was the real God Whale. And
Right.
then so I was like, "Hey, is this a sign or something? Thanks for the support," I said, and I added the
Yeah.
real God Whale. And he showed up with like a comment, and he got like more likes and and retweets of his comment than my original tweet. So I was like, "Oh my gosh, this guy." And he said he
It's
liked the
awesome that he's
content.
anonymous too. Like we have like an anonymous guy. Like I know we don't have a Satoshi, but we got a God whale. You know what I mean? That's even better.
Yeah.
And we got a
Well,
Richard. So
yeah. Well, there's like several very, very, very wealthy addresses that are in these projects now that are from like ETH Genesis, which means they were
yeah.
probably in Bitcoin early because if you're in ETH Genesis, you traded Bitcoin for it. So it's
Oh
like,
my God.
all right, they just are serial winners who just, oh, I was in Bitcoin super early. Let me roll some of these multiple X gains into Ethereum as early as possible. Like, I don't think people realize that our this sacrifice phase is very similar to the ETH ICO, like how
Yep.
it played out, where everyone kind of got the starting rate, then it slowly got worse, and then everybody gets their coins on one day. It launches at 10x the price, and then never goes below what people paid in the ICO, except for a wick on Kraken.
Yeah.
And,
I
and
mean,
so,
we're doing it all over again. We're doing Bitcoin over
yeah.
again. We're doing Ethereum over again. And think about the guys that were able to do it the first time. I mean, they're rolling it in to, the new hacks, the new pulse chain, like the upgraded versions. I mean, these people really understand, delayed gratification. They're obviously multi millionaires, and I
Mm.
sometimes wonder if I actually met like the God Whale in London or something, and he just didn't
Oh,
like
maybe.
announce himself as that, But that would
Uh,
be very risky, Anybody with that, But then again, Richard was there, so
I feel like Richard has to know who these guys are because wouldn't those guys want to talk to Richard at
I
some
feel
like
like
they would
maybe,
call him
yeah,
or something? I don't know.
I feel like
Contact
there's
him.
some of his potential friends from in the early days when he was, networking with exchanges and trying to, do that. Jerry Oaksmith wants to know when Hex hits a dollar, am I getting a lower back tattoo? I am getting a tattoo. So you heard it here. I've been saying this since day like month one.
Mm,
That back in those days, I was like, well, that's so far away. It's
right.
coming up pretty quick, man. I
Well,
gotta,
you said it.
I
So
gotta.
you said that like what in the very, very first month of Hex, you were like, "Yo, if Hex ever
Yeah,
hits a dollar, I'm getting a tattoo."
on one of the
Dang.
first live streams. Yeah,
Oh, that's awesome that that's actually
and I
coming
still
to
am.
fruition so soon. Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. I got to figure out where. Lower back might be a little too sexy, Jerry. I don't want to. I don't want to blow everyone away with my beautiful tramp stamp.
Is it gonna be the Hex logo, or is it gonna be a little something extra to it?
I'm gonna keep it simple. I'm gonna do the Hex logo. I might just get it
I would
inside. I've
be
got
proud
like
of
this.
that.
Yeah, I've got like this tattoo on my forearm, which is just it's like an Ouroboros, like a snake, and I might just get it in the middle of like this guy right here.
Oh, nice.
You
I
know
have
what
a
I mean?
friend who has an Ouroboros tattoo on his arm too. He likes dragons.
Nice.
He
Oh.
has lots of dragon stuff.
I mean, I'm not a big dragon guy, but I thought the symbolism was cool. Like,
Oh, okay.
hey man.
Infinite infinite money printer. That's like
Yeah, it's
Ouroboros.
basically just infinite. Yeah,
Well, you know what's
cyclical.
cool is like those guys who were early into Bitcoin, Ethereum, and into Hex, and now also PulseChain and all this. I think that's just what it's going to be like in the future is since we're constantly developing this better money, like constantly, like we're like, oh, now we can make the underlying asset better, like the underlying protocol we're running it on. Now you can have a better upgraded version, but you have to sacrifice and roll your gains into the next thing. So people are just going to constantly
Yeah.
be rolling their gains into this actually new, better tech. As long as you avoid
Mhm.
all the scams on the side, you'll do fine. You know,
Yep.
there's lots of bad stuff out there too that they're experimenting with, but
Yeah.
these projects
And they're
seem
they're
to
beta
be
testing
doing
with
well.
millions of dollars, and but Pulse
Yeah.
Chain gets to pick the cream of the crop, right? It's like the great filter for everything that was good on
Ooh.
Ethereum. It's going to be cloned over, It's going to be
Right.
cloned and it's going to be added to if needed or not. Liquid Loans is a clone of one of the very very few good projects on Ethereum, Liquidity. I mean, that's
Mhm.
like one of the only DeFi things that has not been hacked yet, and
Oh
it's
yeah. True.
and they're improving it too because they sold out to VCs, whereas
Mm.
liquid loans, it's all going to be sacrificed. So we get to see how that model, actually prevents dumping, because we know VCs, we know what they do. They just look for the first opportunity they can and crap all over everyone. Fat Sammy wants to know if I got pneumonia. No, I'm actually like in the hallway right now, so it's a little cold here in Chicago, and that's just how life is, man. When you're up here.
Oh, I've got a question for you from in the Twitter chat. They wanted to know, are you actually a coffee person?
Yeah. Well, honestly, I've talked about this before. I used to have a coffee company, and that's where the name came from.
Oh,
So
okay.
Crypto
Well,
Coffee.
all right.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
used to sell coffee, and I used to enable like payment gateways for cryptocurrency. It was such a shitty idea, man. Like
Or like
I barely
BitGo or
broke
something,
even.
or BitPay.
I used what was it? Not BitPay, because that was centralized. I used a decentralized one made by Nick Dorier. Bit Bit Server. It was like a green logo. It allowed you to actually just not have a centralized company. But turns out nobody wants to spend their crypto, right? Like nobody
Yeah,
people
that's
want to hold
true.
it.
It
So
goes
I
up
was
in
like, oh
price
well, what if?
because people can't spend it anywhere.
Right, right. And that was
That's the
in my
best part.
in my early days. I made the incorrect assumption that cryptocurrency actually meant that they're currencies, and I'm like, well, if they're supposed to be currencies, why not give people a place to spend them? I
Yeah,
don't know what
true.
I was thinking. Don't know what I was thinking.
Yeah, it's something
But
like
hey,
some
you
of
got to
these
fail a
things.
couple times.
Yeah, you realize these things over time. Like, oh, why does it does make sense that if you could constantly easily sell it, the price probably wouldn't do so hot. But it's like counterintuitive because you're like, well, you can't use it for anything. How does it have this value? It must be a Ponzi scheme or something. But it's just people storing their value like they should
Yeah,
be.
yeah,
That's what
I know.
storing value is. So yeah, you
Beautiful
don't use it.
innovation.
That's when you're just storing it. Save it for
Yeah,
you get to. It's like a call option on anything later in the future. Saving it.
yeah, yeah. That's a great way to put it. It's like a call option on like the dollar, almost. Um, Igloo Bamboo wants to know, hey, do you think the AMM fixer bot will be finished before public access to PulseChain? Yeah, I think that's a requirement, right? Like, I think
Yeah, they
that's,
have to run it on testnet. They're not going to launch the mainnet without ever trying it. It all has to be tested.
yeah. And will it be retired to avoid risk if inflation bug using minting function it'll have?
Retired. I don't know. I guess I'm
I mean, it's only going to run once. Like, there's no
yeah,
need for
I
it ever
don't
again.
think it yeah, I think he's worried that since there's inflation code that bot can do, maybe that can get exploited in the future, but I'm sure Richard's devs are on it. Not going to allow that.
Yeah, I think it's easy to just mint 2.5% of the supply one time and not, I mean, you might not even have a mint function. You might just allocate a certain percentage to it so that it can't mint anymore, you know?
Yeah. You might
Because a mint function, yeah, could be risky. I get that.
Yeah, I mean that gets so technical and we have not enough insight into what's the actual code being written that we can be like, yeah, this line of code says this isn't possible. Like I can't give you that. No one can give you that answer but the devs. So
Right, right.
you're just gonna have to trust in the team like we're already doing.
That's all life is, man. You got to trust in people, and Richard Hart's team is legendary. It's funny that we've got more developers on PulseChain than technically Ethereum has.
Yeah.
Like where
Yeah.
we have
They
like
got like
5
4 or
devs
5 or
working,
something.
and they have 4. We have 5. It's like, when you realize that like the millions and millions of dollars are tied up in the hands of like these very small groups, like Bitcoin too. Most of the commits in Bitcoin are only ever made by 2 to 4 people at a time.
Yeah.
And these people rotate in and out, over time, but it's funny, how's that for your decentralized network? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean that's just kind of how it goes. Like one guy usually is like the main guy doing all the work and he has some help from like the other guys who are also super high end, and everybody else who tries to like help, it just takes too long to get them up to speed to be useful. you
Yeah,
know so
yeah,
you're not like those people have to be so driven to get to the point where they can actually be useful, and then they realize like if you're just doing it for the decentralized like something like Ethereum or something and you can't make a lot of returns on Ethereum, you're like, well, I'm just gonna build my own crypto. That's what a lot of them do, and then they add more load to the real Ethereum devs.
yeah,
So
exactly.
oh man, it's so crazy. I'm surprised any
Yeah,
of this stuff works at all.
That was in the disclaimer of the original hex.com. It's like,
It's
we're
true
lucky this
though.
is actually like not like it's a house of cards. I mean, especially with Bitcoin having had 2 inflation bugs. I mean, we just got lucky that those 0-day bugs didn't get exploited.
I don't want to spread any FUD for Ethereum, but did I see something today? There was something about an inflation bug in it. It was an Ethereum. It wasn't Ethereum itself. It was what was it? Well, it wasn't Ethereum itself, but there was some new inflation bug for some project related to Ethereum. It was like a side chain had an inflation bug, but it wasn't Ethereum
Oh,
itself. That would be bigger news, obviously.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not great. I mean, I know Solana's been, screwed all kinds of ways.
Yeah, I can't believe they go down so much. That's pretty bad.
I know. I just hear about these things. I don't like have time to really be in all these communities, but it's not looking good for anything besides, this ecosystem here. So you're in the right place, guys. Congratulations. We've got so many questions here, man. I'm so behind. Will you be able to trade pulsex for PHEX? Yeah, as long as there's a liquidity pool for it. That's an easy question. I mean, people have to put up liquidity, but I'm assuming they will because it's going to be a highly popular pair.
Yeah. And there doesn't even have to be a pulsex PHEX pair for you to get to it. There just needs to be a pair from and a route through different coins to get to the other one. So if there's like a PHEX pulse pair and there's a pulsex pulse pair, then it will route you through pulse to get to the PHEX from your pulsex. So you just have to pay a double trade fee though.
Yeah. I guess we can talk about the incentive token since that was what I slapped on the thumbnail to get the clicks.
Oh yeah.
Um,
Everyone wants to know.
it's
Tell them why you're
I
so
think
bullish and you think it's better than PulseChain and PulseX combined. I'm ready.
that's what they want me to say. That's what they want me to say. But
Everybody get ready. He's going to tell you.
here's the truth, guys. It's probably gonna not be that great. I'm probably not gonna hold it. Like unless there's a reason for me to hold it, I might be a seller of this incentive token. I would love if it was called the Enigma. That would be great.
I did think that was cool, and then I realized he renamed the diamond to hex.com diamond, so I was like, oh,
Yeah,
guess that's out the window. But I did think Enigma would have been cool. There was some
he could
coins called
still. Uh,
Enigma already, but we steamroll them, just
well, yeah. I
ignore
mean,
them.
Pulse X. There was a Pulse X before Pulse X, and that project got obliterated, just like wiped off the map. But yeah. So
Well,
tell them what you're saying though about like
oh, yeah.
how just basically to calm down. I guess like what was.
Calm down. Well, the thing is, guys, okay, even like from a personal standpoint, super basic level, if you are farming day one, say you're getting some of this token, are you going to sell it literally the second you get it? Or are you going to hold it and wait for maybe it appreciates? Maybe it does go up. Are you selling it the second you get it? Because for every second you're not selling it, the price isn't going down. So, and people need to be buying it if they want to get into the incentivized pool that includes itself, if they want to get that higher multiplier return on the inflation token. So those people will be buying it.
Right.
And so and if you look at any of these inflation tokens, reward tokens, Uniswap, SushiSwap, all of these, they have made all-time highs. Like they're not at their all-time lows. So that means somebody made profit holding the stuff. So, and they're still in profit.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's going to be this constant Omega dump token because it's never been the case unless the project was like deprecated and the devs left and it was just like a prop up shop. Like I've seen coins that were like I farmed coins myself called like hot dog coin, pizza token because there's a contract out there called like the chef Nomi contract, and that's how they originally incentivized these pools. It was like one of the first, like it's what Yams used and Sushi Swap did it. It's how they distribute the tokens to liquidity providers. It's like per block basis, and it's just here's the issuance rate, and you get these tokens if you have, any liquidity in these pools, whatever pairs they decide. And so people were just farming up these coins. I don't know where I was going with this. Where was I going with that?
Well, I mean, I think what you're trying to say is like traders are going to trade something just because it exists. At the end of
Oh
the
yeah,
day,
and it
like
basically, yeah, people
so
still valued the token as long as it wasn't a we're just inflating this coin and no development later. If it's for an ecosystem that is going to stick around, like SushiSwap stuck around, so the price stayed around.
Right.
Uniswap
I
stayed
mean,
around, so the price stayed around. So
look at
same for
like
us.
Dogecoin, like for example, like a lot of these cryptos follow a same path where they pump and then they flatline for like a year or two, and then they pump again and then they flatline because there's new waves of hype. But and from a non-logarithmic standpoint, it looks even worse, right? Because it just looks like it's just one
Yeah.
big pump and dump over and over, but it never quite falls down to zero. Like it might fall like 90%, but
Yeah.
it never. But even so, it generally accrues value very, very, very slowly. So I don't think it's going to be like a crazy pump coin, but I think it might look like a lot of other cryptos where you just get flatline, a wave of
Right. They're
hype,
trade
a wave
coins.
of
They get
sellers.
hype cycles.
Yeah,
It'll
which is
be
how
like,
every chart looks.
yeah, we'll ask the chat, what is the use case for Dogecoin? It does the same thing that like Bitcoin does. You can
Right.
trade it, you can mine it. That's it. You can get the
And
inflation
here,
if you're a miner. That's it.
and here's some things you could do. It is inflationary, right? I mean, you could slap on some kind of emission schedule. I've heard Motley, I'll credit him for
Right.
that. He said, well, what if you do it like kind of like Bitcoin, where you have a halvening cycle every year, it inflates at half the rate. People seem to like that as a narrative. I mean, you could slap on generic staking. You could duct tape on any functionality to this coin to just give people a reason to craft a
Right.
narrative that, hey, maybe it's worth not selling right away or perma dumping. So you could slap on staking. You could have some kind of inflation schedule or happenings. I heard Hex Orca talking about how you could make some kind of system where PLS delegators would, pay incentive token stakers. I think that's a little too complicated. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah.
to
I mean, but yeah, I mean, I told him whenever he came on, I don't know what show it was. It might have been, whose was it? I was on the show with him when he also talked about it, and basically I agreed with him that isn't like not so much that we would definitely need to implement that for it to be valuable, but people will hold things in anticipation of any potential future development at all. Because if any news comes out that there will be development, guess what? People are going to buy it up leading up to it. It's like it's what every other crypto does. It's like, oh, whoa, it's gonna have a use case. Let's go. They get all excited and they hold it in hopes of what it will do in the future. So there's no promise of work from others that that's going to happen, but there's always that
right.
potentiality. Just like how Hex, we always thought it was going to be on Ethereum, and that's what we were going to have. But hey,
Yeah.
someone built this thing, and we're going to get airdropped over there. So it kind of gets this more value because if you have it now, you can get it free over there. So people buy
Right.
it now, pushes up the price. So it's the
And I
same
think
thing for the
like
incentive token. If you're going to get a copy later on another chain for who knows, then you get it and you get a copy. So,
right.
and if you're comparing all these cryptos to each other, in my opinion, I think you want to hold the ones that appreciate the most. So maybe you don't hold the incentive token because I don't think it's going to do the best. But
Right.
that's okay. It's just part of the
Yeah.
ecosystem.
And that's what you were saying earlier. It doesn't have to like top and be the next hex. Like not every coin has to one up the previous coin, because like at some point you run out of innovative ideas. And at some point, what I think Richard Hart's taking the approach of here is time to market, just cutting down that time to market and getting something out the door because everyone's dying for PulseChain to launch. And
Right.
you know, instead of taking an extra 6 months to develop a crazy game theory for this token, I really do think he's going to keep it simple and keep it just as a token to be a new shiny object because people are going to trade just because it exists, right? I think you could do some really simple things, right? Like the Happenings idea or
Yeah, the
the
emissions is a
generic
great idea.
staking.
Yeah,
Yeah, and those
that's
wouldn't be
easy.
too hard. Yeah. I think these complex ideas like Hex Orcas, I don't think they're feasible just because I don't think we want to sacrifice time to market for some crazy game theory that actually has to involve PLS delegators and validators and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, I think maybe you could also use this token to get access to other things. I mean, maybe, but that's kind of almost a played out idea. Like NFTs are kind of handling that space where like they have special access to clubs and stupid stuff like that. Um, and another idea I had was maybe you could spend the coins, right? Spend them in a marketplace of some kind, if you want the coin to be more of a currency. But that's pretty much like those 5 ideas are pretty much all I've got and all I've heard. And I think it's really going to be a simplified coin. First of all, before we go farther, Aliba, thank you for the tip. And because you tipped, now we have to answer your question. $15,000. We're obligated.
True.
So this is a tough one. I don't really like to, promise this, right? Because I don't
Yeah.
have a crystal ball. My best guess, if you stake 15K now, well, how much is that to get to 1 million? 1 million divided by 15K is
Well, 10K times 1,000 is 1 million, right?
66x.
Or 1,000
So
times
like
1,000 times 1,000 is 1 million. So that's
she's
less than
asking how long will it
1,000x.
take for how long will it take for a 66x? I think honestly, like
Yeah.
2 years is like a nice conservative, 2 years for 66x in hex. Doesn't sound too crazy to me, but it's not a promise, not a guarantee. I'm not gonna go buy up the token for you or anything like that. But good luck. And 15K is a pretty hefty size investment in hex, so I think I'd be comfortable doing that personally.
It depends how fast the dollar goes to zero,
Right. That helps. That helps. This other guy, Alan. Alan, what's up? I bet Richard adds more pumpamentals before launch with the LP token. We are so blessed. I can smell financial freedom. Yeah, that's the thing. I don't know. He might not. Right. That's what we're talking about. He might just be addicted to game theory, and he might feel like he has to.
Yeah.
But I think that he also just really, he understands trade-offs.
Yeah, he's practical too with his time. Like, there's an opportunity cost of any sort of delay whenever he could just have it done,
Yeah.
As long as it's secure.
Yeah, security over everything. I mean, the DAO contract is probably what he's gonna look for a DAO contract to copy, to save time. And so we can see what any of these other DAO contracts do, and maybe some of these DAO contracts have cool features in them, but I haven't really done any research into those as of right now.
I know for Sushi Swap, they have it for the vote power. They have it split up into 2 different types of ways you can get vote power. And so if you have pulsex in a liquidity pool, like it's like the main pool, it's basically pulsex versus pulse probably, then you get 2 vote power. If you have pulsex in the single staking pool, then you get 1 vote power. So maybe it'll do similarly, but I'm hoping there's no incentivization of any pulsex pool so that it's as illiquid as possible, so the price just gets bought up absurdly amounts.
Yeah.
Because why would we want like millions and millions of liquidity in there, people get an incentive token, and then when the possible potential buyer comes in, it can't move the price as much. Don't want that. I want that thing to slip up like crazy.
I know. We all do. I guess you could also have it increase, like you could increase liquidity providing rewards on the actual incentive token pools itself. So you could take the PLS incentive token pool, and maybe the DAO contract could vote to keep incentivizing that pool with even more incentive token. So it's just like you're forcing people, or you're really highly incentivizing people to
They have to buy the token to participate there. So it should be good for incentive token price.
I think that would actually be a really simple, actually, no, that might be the optimal play, just highly incentivize that pool so that instead of selling it, people just dump it in the pool, stabilize the price, make it really hard for the price to go down, because if there's a lot of liquidity, it kind of makes the price hard to push around. And you kind of create this feedback loop until like it's almost as liquid as like, Wise was, where it's just like permadump, but it's permadump so that like, it's permadumps, but you're still able to extract some value, like a very tiny amount of value out of it. I hate to even say that name. Sorry. Don't go look that up, guys.
It'd be unwise.
Yes.
Let's see if I have any other questions here. Oh, dude, I totally really enjoyed one of your latest videos a lot. Where you broke down all the not that I didn't like the other ones, but man, there's something
It's all right.
It was the lesser known stuff about crypto, something like that. 2 days ago, I think.
Oh yeah, I was just chilling outside on the porch, and
well, I mean, the audio quality, sure, that wasn't the best, but the content. Because I've wanted to make a video, basically all the stuff you said, and now I'm like, well, now I probably shouldn't make it because that's the stuff that I wanted to talk about.
No, man,
but those are all the really smart things that us as the Hex community, if you stick around long enough, you learn more about how this market actually works, what actually gives stuff value. You learn all that stuff in this community, and most of crypto doesn't understand this stuff. Because when you tell them like, oh, market cap doesn't matter, they're still looking for low market cap gems, losing all their money and wondering, oh man, maybe the next 10. Like, what?
Yeah.
Like they don't
Low market cap is
understand that.
often associated with low liquidity, and so like you don't just
Yeah,
want to go looking for all these like
they don't
it's
realize
basically
that's
like
what it is.
yeah, you're shitcoin hunting. And, you know, by all means, go make a copy video and explain it your own way, because the more redundancy we have with these ideas, the more
True.
we get them out there into the world, the ideas themselves become viral. So
Yeah,
you can
it's
add on to
just good to
that
get
for
these
sure.
ideas out there, you know.
100%. Lirac says, if I have a copy of Hex on the Pulse network, can I send original Hex from Ethereum network using Bridge to Pulse network and stake double the amount of Hex? Well, you can provide liquidity if you bridge in your eHex to pHex, or to PulseChain rather.
You cannot
But
stake ETH on PulseChain.
yeah, you can only stake eHex on Ethereum, and you can only stake pHex on Pulse.
The contracts only accept like their native token. Like you can't stake your, like I can't make up K4K coin and then try and stake it in the Hex contract. It only allows its own Hex coin. So even if it's a copy, it doesn't care. It's like it's not this contract address, and that's what I'm only allowed to interact with, and that's the whatever Hex is. It is for its chain. So.
Yeah, it's kind of like being a citizen of a country. You can't just go to a new country and have all the same rights that you had in your previous country. Like there's different laws and stuff. Oh, he says he understands. Cool. Okay. What else we got, guys? Well,
You were just like, oh, cut the explanation. No analogy for you. He's already got it. I'm not gonna waste another second on it.
Sometimes I ramble, so you know. So yeah, man. World's largest diamond purchased by mystery billionaire founder.
I wonder who it
as a
was.
publicity stunt. Yeah, I'm pretty sure the documentary guys kind of might have prompted him to do that, and it was great because I noticed a lot of like Science magazine, National Geographic, like Science Daily or whatever, people with check marks in their name that are very geographers or geologists or whatever. It's cross pollination, and it's actually getting press because it's in a totally different ball game where nobody has any ill will towards Richard. So that's all I think that was. I don't know about you.
Yeah, who was yeah, I never thought that they might have like tipped him off on it or something. Man, it's like he has like a marketing team. Is this guy thinking of all this stuff himself? He's like, you know what? The diamond is the play. Like who thinks of that? Like he must have some people he works with, he talks with.
It also does really just seem like a very Richard Hart thing to do though. Like he likes things that keep value. He likes the most expensive Louis Vuitton, the most expensive Swarovski crystal. In the article it said like this diamond carries unparalleled bragging rights.
Is that what it said? Oh,
yeah.
That's probably what tipped him off. He was like, bragging rights, those are mine. It's in my
right
house.
up his alley. So
oh man,
I can't wait to see that in real life or on stream when he's holding the diamond. It's about as big as a fist. It's pretty big.
I wonder if we'll get like some crazy chain that has like an encapsulation part. You can put the diamond in it.
Dope.
Obviously, you wouldn't want to like shove a chain through it or anything, but
right. And it's from outer space, dude. It's from outer space. Like it's just so on par with the crypto meme. Like we're going to the moon. We got a big diamond from space. It's got 555.5 carats.
It's also
got
Superman's
facets.
weakness.
Is it?
I don't know. It's from outer space. Could be like kryptonite inside.
It could be.
Wait, kryptonite. Kryptonite.
Hey, there's something
there. Crypto in it. That's like unintentional. That made sense, I guess, in a way.
It's perfect. It's the perfect marketing ploy. But also, if we're speaking of marketing ploys, we got the Daytona 500.
Dude, yeah. Nice.
Are you gonna watch that? I might, for the first time in my life, actually watch NASCAR.
I'm gonna watch every second. I've never watched like a full race. I've seen like some laps. My dad watches it growing up.
Right.
But yeah, now I like actually have someone to cheer for. My dad always liked Jeff Gordon. So, but I don't think he races anymore. Does he race more?
I've heard his name before. I mean,
he was number 24. I remember that. So, But
Well,
now there's like this crazy good guy in NASCAR called like Larson, I think, and he like always wins. He crushes it.
okay.
So I don't know. Hopefully our guy, he seems really good. And there's some cool videos of him on YouTube, like answering questions from like, I don't know,
Oh,
some news outlet or something, like called in and like they had some questions, people lined up to ask some questions, and he was wearing a hex.com shirt answering questions.
hell yeah.
It's so sick. And he's like all
That's
happy.
sick.
He loves talking about his sponsor. Like he's like, I want to do a good job for my sponsorship. You know, I've always been good with
Wow.
my sponsors, and they help me out with all this. And he's talking great stuff about
Wow.
us. He loves the
It's
hex
awesome
game.
that like it's only one sponsor too. Don't those cars usually have like several different logos? And we just have a full-on Hex
Yeah,
vehicle.
I think like you can pay for different like each little piece of the car you can pay for, like, but we paid for like the whole car. So like I think there is like a Sunoco sticker on ours, so I don't know if they paid like $10 for that or what they paid. But like
Some
we
guy
got
just
like
came
the
along
whole
and slapped a
wrap.
sticker.
So we paid
Yeah.
the lion's share, but we get the
Shut-
lion's share of the real estate on it. So
Yeah. I'm rooting for that guy. I should probably learn his name. And
JJ Yealy?
TJ
Yelly?
Yealy. Okay. Yelly.
I'm not sure if it's Yealy or Yelly, but I think it's Yealy.
Yealy is my boy. And I mean, I might actually bet like $10 on this race or something, make it more interesting.
I saw some
You know?
odds, and it's like 100-1 for him to win it, I think.
Oh, it's not great, but it's
There were
not.
some people below him were 1,000-1, so we're beating
Oh
those
shit.
guys.
Okay. Okay.
But he was
Well, as long
definitely
as we
like in the
qualify.
last 25% or whatever. But it's because I don't know a lot about the subject, so maybe I should just
Right.
stop there.
Yeah.
I don't. All the
Well, it's like
NASCAR
horse
fans are like,
racing.
he's got it all wrong.
Yeah. I don't know. Sorry, NASCAR fans. Hey, thanks
I'm
for the
gonna
tip,
watch.
Cognitive Living Room. How many people owns Bill of PLS and PulseX?
Oh, billions
Bill?
maybe. He'd
Oh,
probably
a
ask me if they
billion.
have billions.
In 3 years, how do they cash out when most exchanges are limited? So there's always whales in the system that have more money than is liquid on the market. Grayscale owns 5% of Bitcoin. If they wouldn't be able to sell on the market,
Yep.
without crashing us near zero. So these people with $1 billion of Hex, it's the same like thing with the origin address, right? They only take out what the liquidity conditions can afford them. So by that time, in 3 more years, yeah, Hex will probably be a lot more liquid than it is now. But it will probably also, not be liquid enough for a guy to cash out all 1 billion Hex. Or if you have a billion Pulse, like you're probably not going to be a dumper because you're a whale that, number one, you can afford the time to wait. Number two, you don't want to crash your own thing, that you don't want to ruin the game for yourself and everyone else. So these whales tend to extract value slowly over time rather than just making a giant market dump.
Yeah.
That's just kind of how incentives are aligned. I don't know if you have a different take on that or something.
I mean, they're likely not to extract it through market selling, I would say. They'll probably leave through liquidity providing, so they can just not actually harm the price. Just people have to buy through their wall. So that's what I see a lot of the larger
Yeah.
V3 players doing.
Yeah, they can make big plays and accrue value and open up different revenue streams by being a permanent liquidity provider, or maybe a permanent liquid loans stability provider, stuff like that. There's all kinds of things you can do when you have 1 billion coins, other than sell. You can take out a loan for them. You could help out the ecosystem, and there's always a risk in every coin. So hopefully it doesn't scare you, because if that scares you, that people are going to dump. That's true in every coin, every asset, even real estate. It's like, what if BlackRock decided to sell all their real estate holdings at the same time? Like,
I'm buying all the houses for $1. $1,
yeah,
$1. I'll take it, because that's what it would
that's
be
what.
like if everyone sold. If someone dumped the hex price to near nothing, who wouldn't be buying that crap off the ground with like pennies on the dollar? It's like you're giving everyone else a deal if you wreck
Yeah,
yourself and wreck the price. Everyone else is like, whoa, that guy's out. I'm in. I still like this stuff.
yeah,
So
yeah.
we
I'm
really want to
hoping
give
that
everyone a
happens in
good
real
deal.
estate. I'm like every millennial. I'm waiting for that real estate crash to scoop it up. 20K subs inbound, nice. Hey, don't subscribe to me. Go subscribe to K4K, man. He's already at 8,000. Let's get him to 10. If he's not at 10 by the end of the stream, I'm I don't know. I was gonna say I'm
We're
gonna
gonna have to
sell all my
stream a
hacks, but
while. I don't know if I have that much time. unless
get
a
it. It's
miracle
good to see you,
happens.
Crypto7, by the way.
But yeah, you're almost at 20K. Are you? Is anyone above 20K in the X community? Isn't someone at 21?
Is there? That'd be cool,
Is that
but I don't
Hodl
think
Dog or
so.
something?
No, Huddle Dog's at 16. I'm keeping
Oh,
track. Don't worry.
yeah,
Just
yeah.
kidding.
I bet you are. If you're in the lead, you're like, I'm not gonna lose this.
Well, Huddle Dog was in the lead. He was at 16K for a
Oh, you
while,
do
and then I
know it
was at
all,
like,
dude.
and I was at 10, and I did a dry January, so I was sober for a month, and I was like, well, let me just like really grind at the YouTube channel, and I just made a video like almost every day, and I got to tell you guys, being sober is pretty cool. Like, I know it sounds,
No, it
you
is.
know, it's pretty nice. But hey, thanks for the tip, Crypto Bull Doge. I think the Meta Ruffy is going to be the best perform. Okay, never mind.
What is that? What is
I don't
that?
need.
The
I'm
Metaverse
not going to even
Project?
read. I'm
Does he
sorry,
know
bro.
where? It's like jumping in the lion's den with that.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you to not say that again. But thank you for the tip, and for that I will not give you a timeout. Sorry,
I was
bro.
so confused for a second. I was like, "What's he talking about?" Oh, wait, it's just a
Yeah,
shill. Okay.
yeah. I know. I thought Ruffy was like a slang term or something. Gary says, do you think RH will use $1 billion from pulsex SAC to protect Hex? Well, yes, Jerry, I really do. I mean, no expectations, right? But I don't think whoever owns the $1 billion will
Yeah, how
use
do you
it
just
to
know
hurt
it's Richard?
Hex.
What's he talking about?
Yeah, I don't. Let's just say I don't think it'll hurt Hex, right? Like to me, it seems like an obvious play, and that's the bet that everyone in this community is making, right? So I'm not trying to sell you on that idea, but if you think he's gonna dump, or if you think the origin address is gonna dump and sell on your head and run away with the money, this isn't probably a coin for you.
It's really funny when I think about it, and people say, "Well, the OA or any large person could just dump it to zero," and you're just like, "That there's only like you can maybe extract 20 to 40 million dollars. That's it." Or they can see their bag grow at an insane rate over the next several years as liquidity grows, and then in the way future, there might be billions of dollars of liquidity by that point. And they can actually get out
Right.
way more money. So why would
Yep.
they ruin their bag now? Makes no sense. To get 20 to 40 million in Hex, that's a joke,
Yeah.
right? Who's
It's
doing
like
that?
saying why doesn't the Winklevoss twins dump on your head? Why doesn't Chamath Palihapitiya dump on your head? Why doesn't Jack Dorsey
There's no
dump
way you
all
said
his
that guy's
Bitcoin?
name right, but that did sound really correct, actually. I've never
It
heard
is
someone
right.
say that name correctly. Oh my god, you went like right past it like it was no problem. Oh my
Yeah.
god.
Yeah, I had
Amazing.
to really read it slow the first time though. Hey, we got another tip here. Thank you. What's not on the news? Can't wait to stake PulseX. Agreed.
I like that.
Nice and
What's not on the
simple.
news? That's like a cool name.
Yeah, this
That's
is
a
what's
like
not on the news.
website. Yeah. How to get
This
rich,
is
not
the
on the
news.
news.
Oh yeah, definitely not, man. They're gonna come for crypto. I think they're gonna
Yeah,
demonize it pretty
it's
soon
really
here. I
scary
think.
stuff going on in Canada. I saw their
Yeah.
legislation where they're like, "Yeah, we're gonna have to put digital currencies under terrorist restrictions." It's like, what? They're like, "We're not gonna allow people to do this," and they're like waiting for people to clap. Like, we want that. Doesn't it doesn't nobody wants more of your like fingers in our stuff. Get out of here. Come on.
Yeah,
No one is
I
using
know.
it for terrorism at all. Like,
I don't
it's
know
such an
what's
excuse.
going on up there, but I think I'm hoping
They
that
better
the U.S. is on the right side of history with their legislation. Just kind of like they opened the internet relatively free compared to other countries. I hope that they leave crypto innovation relatively free as well compared to everywhere else in the world. It would be good for them. It would bring more innovation here. But people get scared of new things, right? People are always like, oh, it's for money laundering, not to mention that 99% of all money laundering is using the US dollar.
They're
I'm
not gonna
like,
ban
art.
that.
Nope,
Actually, they
you
are trying
can't.
to make it digital though, which is kind of like removing cash. So
I got $10 to put him in a timeout.
can someone pay to time out other people? Is that what goes
I
on in
mean,
the chat?
hey, I won't be doing the timeout myself, but Jerry, thank you for the tip. And any one of my moderators. How about this? I will give you a hammer, Jerry. I will give you
Oh
a
my
hammer, and
god.
I will I will
No.
leave that decision up to you, sir.
Nice.
Where is Jerry in here? I gotta find his. Hey Jerry, can you make a comment really quick? Damn it, where's this Jerry guy?
That's Jerry Oaksmith. That's your moderator. Very
Jerry
famous.
Oaksmith. Somebody make Jerry Oaksmith a mod. Oh, there he is. Add mod. Congratulations, Jerry. Hey, Maddie. Wow, we just got the tips that keep on coming. Thanks so much, Maddie. Congrats on the month of sobriety and mad gains and subs. Yeah, man, pretty crazy what you can accomplish when you're just a little bit more focused.
Yeah, you've been really cranking them out. I've been slacking. It's not acceptable.
Hey, that's all right. You have a life. That's what that means. You know?
No, but I'm thinking about this stuff all the time, though. Anyway.
Yeah,
I'm like,
true.
man, what? Because I'm right now working on. I'm trying to figure out how much are these. Like, does delegating your pulse actually get you? And the results are very, very low. It doesn't get you that much. So I want to do all the math correctly. So because I'm comparing it to Binance Smart Chain.
Oh, cool.
And
I mean, that's kind of what it's the closest to.
Because they have 3-second blocks. They have 28,800 blocks a day. They have like a rotation, I think.
Yeah, we're almost a direct clone.
Yeah.
Of BSC.
And so you can kind of see like what, and you can see like how much would possibly be used up, and you're like, wow, this is not a crazy amount of fees. But hey, it's free, so it's free extra yield.
I can't imagine. I'm with you on that. I can't imagine staking is going to be highly profitable. Staking Pulse is going to be highly profitable. Staking PLSX maybe depends on what they do with the copied contract from PancakeSwap essentially. But
yeah, that's going to be probably better than Pulse in my opinion, because just look, it's pretty high APY because it depends on the emission rate and then also the price of the incentive token. So if it works out anyway, like any of these other ones have, it's probably going to start off as hundreds of percent APY, and then it goes down over time. Usually to around like 40 to 80%, which is really good for free. Whenever you're not risking anything, it's like cheating.
Yeah, it's breaking crypto. It's just breaking the whole game. I mean, it's really ridiculous, guys. Plus, I think Binance Smart Chain does have cheap fees, but they still cost like 50 cents to $1. I think sometimes
it's because their token's expensive that they pay in. Ours is not, so we're just paying the same amount, like percentage of the token, but the token's cheap. So we pay like nothing. You pay like a 10,000th of a pulse on the I've been staking and doing some stuff on the testnet. Representing David Feeder's bag, he sent me like 5,000 test pulse to do stuff with, because otherwise you have to only get one from the faucet like a day. And I was like, it won't even let me get rewards if you have too little pulse to delegate. Like it's like you need to have this percent, because they can't send you like 0.0000 like
the decimals
they can't
aren't
send you your
enough.
rewards to be like this small. So they're like, you have to have at least this percent or you get nothing. You can't even stake. So I was like, thanks, man. So he helped me out. He sent me some test pulse.
That's nice. I mean, yeah, you can also go to the faucet. There's a free PLS faucet. It's called freepulse.io.
Oh, does it work on testnet?
It works on testnet right now.
Wow.
So for every day, you can get up to like 100,000 PLS, which actually like, it's almost like they're giving out, it's almost like giving out 10. I know. I'm thinking to myself, like, it's all self-funded by, Richard Hart developers. So when Pulse actually goes live, freepulse.io is actually going to be giving out free Pulse. It's a real PLS token, and it's going to be anywhere between $1 and $20, or like 1 penny and $20 a day or something like that.
Oh, I thought it was 200. Did they change that?
Maybe it is 200. Maybe I'm off on that.
Yeah, that's
but
like
it's
the
all
very,
random.
very high end, I think.
Yeah, it's very rare that you'll actually get that much. But think about it, if you're just claiming, PLS for a couple of days in the early days, and you just forget about it and wait 5 years, that could be like the people that claimed Bitcoin in the Bitcoin faucets in the early days when they were giving out, 10 Bitcoin, 20 Bitcoin in a faucet. And everyone's like, oh, that's only a couple pennies, so who cares? And then 10 years later, they're millionaires based off of a free token.
Clicking a button,
how crazy.
Legit.
Yeah.
No risk. You just
crazy.
sign. You don't even pay gas to claim it. It's just sign. You do a CAPTCHA. If you can do a CAPTCHA, you can be a millionaire. You heard it here first.
I cannot wait to hear that story 10 years from now where like there's a millionaire from clicking a CAPTCHA. Like, well, I recognized all the airplanes, so
Oh my gosh. We got yeah.
that'll be legendary. Hey,
That'd be awesome.
hey, Aliva, thank you for the tip again. Richard Hart's
Oh
debating on
yeah.
Bitcoin Maxi soon. Is he? I don't know who that is,
Yeah,
but
Peter Schiff. It got leaked.
oh, he's not a Bitcoin Maxi. He's
Oh,
a gold.
wait.
He's a
Oh,
gold
are they
Maxi.
talking about that that heavier set man from
Oh,
Concrete? You know?
I actually reached out to Concrete on Twitter, and he responded to me and said, "Yeah, can you get Richard to come in person though?" And I'm like, "Well,
Oh,
probably
no.
not, man. Like,
What?
probably not worth it. No offense. Like, unless you're in Europe for some reason, maybe."
He won't even see Lex Friedman. He's not going to see you, dude.
Yeah, I know. So
Well,
I
he's
don't
not going to
know.
go to that guy's place over Lex. You know?
No, not at all. I mean, was that guy if that guy is the Maxi Concrete, then hopefully they can do one virtually, you know. But Richard Hart doesn't really do in person unless you're right next to him in his vicinity. Any comment on Hedron? Let's hear your thoughts on this.
I haven't done enough research. It has something to do with wrapped stakes, right? Something.
Yeah, you can wrap your stakes and sell them as an NFT. You can also take out a loan against your stake paid in Hedron token. And finally, you can free claim Hedron token for any B share that you have currently. You get like 1 Hedron per B share and then there's like some bonus. So here's my thoughts on Hedron. I'm going to claim my free Hedron tokens, you know, just in case it does well. I would like it to do well because in the grand scheme of things, I think it's going to bring more staking to HEX, you know, because more people that might want to stake 5555 but don't want to actually commit now have this option to create a secondary, almost like a bond market, essentially. I think this idea was inevitable. It was going to happen either way. So, you know, people have been talking about this idea for over a year now, and this is just the first implementation of it. So it's going to be audited. Audits haven't been released yet. It is decentralized, but I haven't looked at the code. I mean, it follows all the principles that we like, but I'm not confident enough to like go ahead and go all in on it. So I'm going to claim my free Hedron because there's really not much risk in that other than,
if that's risk free, like then I'll probably claim it. It's like, all right.
Yeah, and I talked to the guy. He's got good intentions, right? He's got the whole goal of Hedron is to attract more stakers, and more stakers equals longer average stake length and also higher price, because if more people are clicking the stake button, you're taking more HEX off the market. It's pretty simple. I'm not going to be using that NFT feature myself. I'm going to be, any stake I make is mine. Like, I want to own it because I actually plan on seeing it through.
Right.
But as an option for people that don't want that, I mean, you have a second option. So I understand how there's risk, and like you don't necessarily want to risk taking out a loan on your B shares, you know, especially on a crypto that could be volatile and not a stable coin. At least I don't want to take that risk right now. You know, I don't need it. I don't really care about selling my stakes, although I know some people will care. But I think overall the pros slightly outweigh the cons, as long as it's really bug free and it really doesn't.
Yeah, how are you gonna know if it's bug free?
See, I'm just gonna wait. Like, my plan is just mint the tokens.
Just wait till it gets hacked and then join in version 2.
Yeah. Well, you know.
That's what's gonna happen.
Oh, maybe.
Dude.
I mean, they're getting a audit professionally, and I know the guy really does believe in the product, you know, that he's building. He's trying to keep it similar to liquid loans, you know, within the ethos of no admin keys, no governance, you know, audits, safe, everything. You know, time will tell. I'm not as excited as I am for like liquid loans, for example, but if Hedron blows up one day and I have a bag of it, great.
Yeah.
I get to dump. That's where I'm at right now.
Future Hedron Godwell just said he was going to dump.
I'm just being honest. Like, I would like it to work. I would like it to work great, but I don't have a need for it right now. You know, I don't really need that extra risk of, if I'm going to take out a loan, I don't want to take out a loan on my T-shares necessarily. I want to take out a loan on my, you know, PLS and stablecoin.
Oh, you would just rather do that? Yeah.
I just understand the liquid. I mean, I understand both systems. I just would rather not have a loan be paid in something that has volatility. That's only the lending
Pulse will have
aspect.
less volatility.
Well, in liquid loans, you're getting a stablecoin loan. In Hedron, you're getting a loan in Hedron token
Oh, okay. I
against your
didn't
B
realize
shares.
that part of the Hedron thing.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
And he was saying that, the price of Hedron should trend to track the actual price of a B share, which I still am having a hard time understanding why.
Yeah. Some people say
because
things and they're like, "This should do this," and you're like,
I don't know.
well, why? How does that
I
work?"
don't
I
know.
like to figure out how stuff works, and then I get more confident in the stuff. So,
Right.
I'm gonna be not thrilled about anything I haven't super researched.
Yeah, well, that's super fair. I didn't know if you had or not. I've read the whole, website and talked to the founder and everything, but I like it. I'm just not like 100% sold. But again, claiming feels low risk, and why not? Hey, Aliba with the tip again. I am bullish on PLS in the first 24 to 48 months. Me too.
I think he said
Me too.
hours. It says
Oh,
hours.
hours.
Free bridge.
Oops.
Bridge emoji.
Oh, that's a bridge. Okay. Yeah.
Bullish on false.
I
All
don't know if
right.
that's the right way to like.
Yeah, dude, I'm bullish first 10 seconds. 10-second team.
I think we should clarify. Like, I don't think anyone's going to be making mad gains in the first day. You know what I mean? Like, you're not going to get your instant 100x and dump.
Maybe 10x.
Personally, maybe, but
Well,
I just don't. I don't think that's the right way to think about it, like being bullish in the first day.
well, you know what? It's a weird comment too because there's not even going to be USD value. So what are you bullish against? All the other cryptos in the ecosystem? It's going to be a good ratio. You happy about that? I don't.
Well, maybe, yeah,
Like, what's
yeah,
that mean to
probably.
you? Or, I don't know. I guess that unless you planned to harvest that value by, I guess you maybe just like looking at good ratios for your pulse. But I mean, people want to see their USD value and actually be able to think that they can extract it. Even if they don't extract it, they want to be like, I could,
Right. I mean, I do think there will be a rush of if Aliba, if you're talking about the ratios alone, I mean, technically they're all zero, but yeah, I do agree that I think there's going to be an influx of PLSX into PLS because there's so many people that came late that missed the PLS boat, and they're all thinking that they're going to sell their PLSX for PLS. But again, guys, when everybody's doing something, when everybody's thinking one way, you're just a lemming at that point. Like I would, if you're actually going to be the person that's trying to get a good deal, I think you have a better chance getting a good deal swapping HEX for PLS than you do swapping PulseX for PLS. Personal thoughts. I don't know if you agree or not.
Oh, well, I mean, I do have some thoughts on like the ratio because some people are like, man, I would trade like 3-to-1 pulse to pulse X or 2-to-1. Some are like 10-to-1. I'm like, you know what that means, right? That because you're comparing crypto to crypto there.
Yeah.
So like, I think like Ethereum only did 3x better than Bitcoin, and it did way more returns than USD. But if you're comparing crypto to crypto, like crypto, but like they both do really well, you would have to have way more insaner gainers on one than the other, even though the other one's doing because the other one is already doing so well versus USD as well. So if even in a 2-to-1 ratio, if that means you have 10,000 coins of one, and you want the other one because you got PulseX, you're trading it for Pulse. That means you're immediately cutting your coins in half, 2-to-1. You go down to 5,000 coins. So you're betting that the more expensive coin will maintain at least 2x performance, or you messed up. So break down a little bit more. So if PulseX were to go up 10x, Pulse needs to go up 20x for you to break even if you were to do that trade.
Yeah.
So you're betting that it's going to always be at that ratio multiple x better. Like, yeah, good luck. So if you're doing a 10x rate conversion, that means it has to if PulseX goes up 10x, Pulse has to do 100x. So that's terrible. Unless you think it's really 100x better than PulseX, which is like, what?
I haven't heard people saying that they're
100x,
going to trade
10x.
based off of a ratio of coins. I don't think that, if anyone's thinking that way, that's, what K4K said. It's not a great way. It's not a great mental framework. If anything, try to tie a US dollar value to it and say, what price US dollar wise did I get my PulseX at? And from there, you can calculate, well, am I actually getting a good deal on Pulse, maybe relative to what other people got in Pulse. You can technically say that 0.0001 might be the average best price, without a volume multiplier. And so maybe you can plug in those USD numbers to see if you're getting a good ratio. But yeah, if you're trying to play, if you're saying, oh, if it's 10-to-1 ratio, I'm still going to buy. That means, yeah, you're betting that one is going to outpace the other at a 10x rate, which nobody knows is going to do, if that's going to
really
happen.
hard to do versus the other coin.
Yeah. I would try to tie it to dollars personally.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, hey, J Magic. Thank you for the Australian $8. Thanks, man. K4K, thanks for being so pumped for PulseX. Missed out on the PulseX, been super annoyed about it. By the way, you two are my favorite Hex YouTubers. Warms my heart.
Sweet.
Thank you, J Magic.
Nice. Oh, wait. That reminds me. I have another question from somebody on the Twitter.
Oh, yeah. Let's answer those.
The Hexican asks, ask him why he's such an effing legend. Because in my tweet I said I was gonna, it was a live stream with the legendary and likable crypto coffee, and then that was someone's question, and then Hodl Dog pointed at it. So
I've never been asked that before. I just got here early and I just never gave up of promoting it. So that's all I did. I mean,
you're humble,
just not giving up. Yeah.
You make great videos, great content.
Thanks, bro. Hey, does that Twitter thread have any other questions that people wanted to know?
Let's see. I already asked is he a coffee person? Let's see. This one said, pinch me, I must be dreaming. All excited about the stream.
Hell yeah.
Oh, have either of us read Sci-Vive, and what did we think of it?
I did read a couple chapters, Money, Respect, maybe one or two other chapters. I've read chunks of it. I've never read it all the way through. It's just a jumbled compilation of good ideas, but
there's no narrative glue. It's not like a story. It's it's here's something to think about, and it's usually pretty on point if you think about it for a minute. So it's a lot of stuff like that, and you can, if you want to synthesize it, probably have to read it a few times to really let it in. Because if you just speed read the book, what did you learn? You just learned how to say you read a book fast, because you didn't actually soak it in. I did read it. I want to read it again just to see how it hits me a second time. But there's just really good information in it. And if you've read any other books similar to self-help like that, you'll see lots of what do you call it? Echoes of the similar stuff.
Yeah,
but totally. It's a good material, I'd say. I wouldn't be he was wrong on lots of stuff. I would say he was wrong or right on most everything.
Yeah, after the edit, the most recent edited version is a lot more easy to read.
Right.
I don't know if you remember the old version.
Yeah, no, I do remember that. And I did not read it at that point. I tried, and I was like, I'm losing interest. I can't read this, dude.
I know.
It got better though.
Aliba is back again. So trading PLS for Hex can be done pre-bridge. Thank you for the tip, Aliba. Yes, it can. It 100% can be done. It's risky, so unless you know what you're doing, I wouldn't necessarily recommend it. But yeah, if you think that, if you don't have your pulse bag yet, I said this on an earlier video, I do think you have a better shot at getting a better deal swapping some Hex for PLS. But again, you might just want to wait for the dip. If there's a dip 30 to 60 days later.
Do you think there'll be a dip below, a sustained dip below what everyone paid average price? We're kind of ignoring that some people do have bonus multipliers, so they're technically in profit if it's ever at that price, so they could sell it. But doubtful they sell first day, unless it's already way above that, and then there'll be a drop. That's how I see it.
I think in PulseX, it's more likely that there's a dip below average buy-in price. I think in Pulse, you might have an initial surge, but then you're probably still going to have a dip of people taking quick profit. So it might not ever dip below that 0.0001 or 1/100th of a penny, but you might be able to get it as if you were getting in halfway through the adoption or halfway through the sacrifice phase. Does that make sense? You might be able to get it if you can get it in the 100ths of a penny range, it might not ever go lower than 1/100th of a penny. But
this other I do think there's going to be a dump. My only difference, I think, is that we're going to start higher than what people paid. And so, because I think those whales that got into the sacrifice phase aren't going to let no other whale come in and buy up cheaper coins than they could have ever bought, right?
Yeah,
So they have hundreds of thousands of ether that we know about. That's it. That's all we know about. Are they going to
yeah,
let someone else come in and get cheaper than they ever got? No.
right. Plus,
So,
factor in the FOMO of PLS in general, because so many people
right.
clearly missed
A
it.
lot of people are just
Uh,
going to be buying, market buying. And I heard this other theory that I don't know much if it's true, but like what are they called? I don't know if they're funds or family offices. Like some of those types of companies that deal with money and handling other people's money, they can't really buy into something like a sacrifice phase because you're not guaranteed anything. It's not like a real ICO. So they have
right.
to wait for day one because they're getting like real settlement, like we own this asset now and it
Gotcha.
exists. They can't like put their money into the sacrifice phase. So they have to wait. So that could be potential millions, tens of millions, day one,
Yeah.
you know. So that's pretty cool if that's true.
Oscar, Oscar, thank you for the tip. Yeah, we kind of talked about the ratios. I don't know what the ratio will exactly be. There's no way to know that, but that's what we're
Yeah.
kind of talking about now is like,
It's like guessing price. People ask,
yeah,
"What's the price on this day?" Maybe, and you're like, "Dude, I don't
yeah.
know. If I knew that, I'd be Omega Infinite money, man."
Yeah.
If I could tell you,
It's
like,
game.
and it was 100% true, I would tell you, but I'd be lying then because I don't.
I
Nobody
do
knows
think
that.
that it'll be it'll favor Pulse. Pulse will be more valuable than Pulse X.
I just think
That's just a
that's
prediction.
yeah.
I don't know. I don't know. So I, I hate to like say any prediction because people just take it as like, oh yeah, it's definitely
Yeah,
gonna
they'll
happen.
take it and run with it because, like, if they respect your opinion enough, they will
Yeah,
just go with it. Even though you were
yeah,
like, you might have said it as like off the cuff. Oh, it could be this, but really,
yeah.
you just kind of just said it. You
I don't
know?
know. I have no
Yeah.
clue, man. All I know is there's a lot of people holding the bag of Pulse X that wish they got into Pulse. That's all I know about the current environment. And do what you will with that information. You know, shit, man. My laptop is about to die.
Oh,
We should
crap.
wrap this up. We're at an hour as well.
Sure.
Thanks so much for coming on. I'm gonna download this and you can post it on your channel too.
Sure.
Are there any final words you want to show your stuff?
Well, I just want to say thanks for having me on. You reached out, so I was like honored. I was like, oh man, this guy is legendary.
Hell yeah.
So thanks for having me on, and you guys can see my content if you like kind of like high level analysis of some of this game theory. It's kind of fun to figure out because the more you understand of this stuff, the more confidence you can have in it and actually understand why it goes up in value and what makes something better than another thing. So I find that entertaining. So if you like that, you can find me at K4K Crypto at Twitter. So at K4K Crypto or K4K Crypto on YouTube. Those are my two main hubs. So I want to hear where we can find you, Crypto Coffee.
On this very channel right here that you're watching. Click that
And
big red button,
yeah,
click that thumbs up. Helps the algorithm, help pump your own bags. You know the deal. But most importantly, also go like and subscribe to K4K. All
thank
this
you.
stuff does, it also, it increases the network effect of everybody. It makes Pulse go viral, it makes Hex go viral. And literally, it takes you 10 seconds, to basically share, comment, like, subscribe. 10 seconds to actually have a a role in helping push the price up. Pretty easy, right?
Yeah.
All right, guys. I appreciate you all coming on, all 520 of you.
Wow.
Later.
Peace out.
I know.